Hare Krishna, Namaste everyone. I welcome you back to the series The Gurus from Ramayana. It's been a long time and I hope you're all doing good. So, today let us introduce a new character from Ramayana as our Guru. Like we discussed last time, we had talked about the very final lesson from our Guru Hanuman, and today we are going to introduce a new character. So, today, as the new Guru, we welcome none other than sage Valmiki, who was the author of Ramayana. So we all know that Valmiki was the person who penned Ramayana. Some of us might know that, some of you might know that Valmiki also has a role inside the story of Ramayana. But I don't know how many of you know that there is a very interesting background story of Valmiki which teaches us a very revolutionary lesson about life. So let us discuss that today. So Valmiki was born as Ratnakara into a well-mannered family, and he grew up as a very good man. But after he reached manhood, he associated himself with some people with wrongdoings. That is, his friends were people who robbed others. So they basically lived in the forest, and there were passers-by through the forest who travelers. So these people used to rob these travelers of their money or whatever valuables they had, and that is how they took care of their own families, these robbers. So association with these people led to Vatmiki also choosing this as a way of life, and he used to, as said, he used to rob travelers. He was a very what do you say, he had a very brutal way of attacking travelers and then robbing them of whatever valuables they had, and then with these he used to run his family. He had a wife, he had children, so that is how they used to he became the breadwinner for this family by doing such wrong things, that is by performing adharma. So, as time went by, one day Vatmiki or Ratnakara rather, he saw that from a distance that Saptarishis were arriving on this way. So he didn't know who these people were. He just saw that they were like divine people because of the aura around them. But his intention was only about robbing the people, right? So he planned to attack these rishis, and when they came, the Ratnakara or Valmiki, he jumped upon them, attacked them, and decided that he wanted whatever valuables they had. So, in a very harsh voice, he demanded that whatever valuables you have, hand it over to me, otherwise, I will kill you. So, he threatened them in this way, and the Saptarishis were taken aback. They were not afraid, they were divine people, but they were taken aback by this particular man. So they asked him, why are you robbing us? Why are you taking whatever we have? What is your intention in doing that? So Ratnakara said that I have a family, I have a wife and children, and to give them food, this is what I do. I rob people, and whatever I get from that, with that money, I feed my children, I feed my wife. So when he answered like this, the Saptarishis asked him that you are doing this action, this karma, this wrong karma, adharma, for your family, for feeding your family, right? For taking care of your family. But when you will have to face the consequence of this karma, that is when you will face the fruits of this karma, do you think that the same family will take it on your behalf to go through all that consequence, to go through all that suffering? Will your family be ready for that? So Ratnakara was astonished. He had never thought anything like this. So he believed, he said that, yeah, I believe they will share the suffering with me, the consequence of the action with me, because it is for them that I'm doing all this. So the Saptarishi said, are you very sure? So Ratnakara said, okay, let me go back to my family and ask them if they will share the suffering with me for this action. So Saptarishi said, okay, you can go. We will wait here till you come back. So Ratnakara went to his family, his wife and his children, and he asked that I am doing this wrong action, adharma, of looting people, of taking away their valuables for you, so that I can feed you, I can take care of you. One day I'll have to face the consequence of this adharma. I'll have to go through the suffering for this. So at that time, since I'm doing this for you, will you share that consequence? Will you share that suffering with me? At that time, his wife and his children said, How can that be possible? The person, the doer of the karma, is the only person who suffers the consequence of the karma. It doesn't matter who you're doing it for. Whoever is the doer, that is a person who will also have to go through the fruits of his action. Whoever does the karma, he'll have to bear the karma phala also. So that is what his wife said. He was taken aback. He thought that whatever he was doing for his family, and his family will be with him. But he realized that that won't happen. So he came back and told the Saptarishis, what should I do now? Till this time, I did all these wrong doings for my family. But now they say that since I'm the doer, I'll have to face the consequence myself. So the Saptarishi said, they didn't say anything wrong. Whatever karma you are doing, you will have to face the consequence for that. Now Ratnakara was very afraid, scared, because he knew that he had done a lot of wrong things by hurting innocent people, travelers who were going through the forest, taking away all their belongings, valuables. So he was doing a very wrong thing, evil thing, and thinking about the consequence, he got very scared. So he fell at the feet of these Saptarishis and asked, what can I do as, to correct my actions? What can I do to change? What can I do to save myself from the consequence? So the Saptarishis, they were very merciful people, and whenever someone comes at your feet and asks you for mercy, asks you for advice, asks you for forgiveness, you always, as a person who believes in God, as a person who is a devotee of God, you always show mercy and help them, be kind. So Saptarishis were obviously devotees, they were very knowledgeable people. So they told Ratnakara that don't worry, we will help you. So they decided they thought of how can we help Ratnakara, because he had done so much evil. They didn't understand what kind of penance can help him get out of this. So after thinking a lot, they decided that uh, they told him, do one thing, you sit here in penance and keep chanting the name of Lord Rama, 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 Rama. You keep chanting the name, and you should continue the chanting until we come back here. We are now going on our journey. Until we come back here, you have to keep chanting the name. So Ratnakara, before the sages went, he started chanting, but he couldn't because of the extent of his evil doings, his wrongdoings. He couldn't even chant the name Rama. So instead, the sages suggested a clever suggestion. They said that say Mara, 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 Rama, Rama, Rama. So that will become Rama, Rama, Rama. So in that way, you keep chanting, and that he could do. So he kept on chanting, 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 and the sages went, the Saptarishis went, and after thousands of years, they came back in the same forest. And what they could find is the person who was sitting there, he was not even visible. What had happened is termites had started building their anthills and all those things around his body. He was so still, he was not at all moving, so immobile, that he was so focused on that penance that creatures had started building, ants and termites had started building anthills around his body, and he was completely invisible. He wasn't even visible to the sages, but the sages, they knew who was under this mess, so they were very happy, and they told him to emerge, that we have come back, you can you now come out of the penance, emerge out of it. And when Ratnakara heard that, he was very happy, and he emerged out of it. The person who emerged was no longer Ratnakara, and the sages gave him the name Valmiki, because the termite anthills, that is called Vatmika in Sanskrit, and because he emerged out of it, the Saptarishis gave him the name Valmiki. Not just a name change, the person who arrived, who emerged out of it, was a completely different person. He was so he had that divine aura himself, which the Saptarshis had in the beginning. He also had it now, because of the power of that chant, because of the power of his devotion, his focus, his penance. He had completely transformed into a different human being. He had become so superior that now he became eligible to write a itihasa as incredible as the Ramayana itself. So the same Ratnakara who used to rob people, who used to do so much evil, he emerged as such a wise person, such a, a knowledgeable person, that he could pen the entire Ramayana. The Valmiki Ramayana is the actual Itihasa which we know today. So, Sage Valmiki is the one who wrote it, who penned it, and it is because of him that we have the Itihasa in our hands right now. So, you can imagine, from being a robber, from being such an evil person, he transformed into such a wonderful human being, such a wise and knowledgeable, and he transformed himself completely into a different person. So, how did he do that, and what does he teach us in this particular journey? So, Valmiki, if you look at him closely, if you look at his story closely, you can see that he was a person who used to hurt others, who used to do evil things, who used to do something completely against his dharma. But when he realized that he was doing something wrong, with the advice of some wise people, he decided to change. He determined to change his life. He did not say that, okay, I have already done all these things and I'll have to face the consequences. So let me continue, keep on doing those things. He didn't do that. He determined that he wanted to change, and he took upon that challenge in such an intense way. He kept his focus so undeterred that after so much of penance, so much of focus, so much of dedication, he emerged as a completely different person. So, this is the biggest lesson that Valmiki teaches us. Your past doesn't define who you are. Whatever you determine today and whatever action you take towards that decision, that is what makes who you are. See, as human beings, we all may have erred in the past. We all may have done mistakes. We all may have done something really bad. We may have hurt people. We may have hurt ourselves. We may have done a lot of things that are against dharma. But once you realize this, you have done something wrong, and you have that deep desire to correct it, to change what you did, and to emerge as a different person who will never repeat it. When you decide that particular thing and then you take action, like Valmiki, then you take action to make that change. You keep your focus so undeterred that you completely transform yourself into a different human being. So that is possible. What Valmiki teaches us is that your past never defines who you are. You can change in this particular moment and change and completely transform your life. That is what Valmiki teaches us. And this is a very, very useful lesson for people like us, because as human beings, we have all erred. We have all made mistakes. But Valmiki reminds us that we all have the opportunity to change, to make a decision to never repeat those mistakes and be a completely new human being. So it is an incredible lesson that we all must remember. And taking inspiration from this lesson, let us decide from today on that we are ready for change. We are going to inculcate habits in our lifestyle, our life, that will lead us towards the dharma or right. And we can change ourselves no matter who we were till the last moment or yesterday. Today on, we are a completely new person and we are willing to work towards it. And until we achieve that particular goal, we are not ready to give up. That is what Valmiki teaches us. And I hope you can all inculcate this particular lesson in your life and achieve all the success you desire for. That's all for today. Hare Krishna.